What is Ryomon Sukuna? 1,000 years ago, in the height of sorcery, a two-faced, four-armed demon roamed Japan. But what was Sukuna? A human? A cursed spirit? A demon? Today I wanted to go over this subject because there is so much strife and confusion in the community about what Gege confirmed, who said what the manga said. So I want to clear the air and share my take on this wild Sukuna goose chase on what he is as an entity in the series. With Sukuna, he goes hand in hand with crazy, wild theories in the Jujutsu Kaisen community. It's like bread and butter with Sukuna and theories. Gege made him such an ominous and mysterious presence, so much so that you can get caught up in your own headcanon about what his goals are, what his powers are, and what he is, what his classification is. Gege is very, very good at build-up and big brain reveals. So I think it's incredible that us fans are brainstorming and coming up with ideas about him. It gives him a lot of substance and hype to Sukuna's eventual return to the series. And every time he's mentioned, it's like there's a stock influx of Sukuna's relevance and presence in the series. So it is very fun to discuss. So let's talk about Sukuna as a being and what he is exactly in Jujutsu Kaisen. This is not a video where I am confirming anything. I'm not here to try to make some grand plan theory to shake the JJK world or convince you brothers to lean toward one side or another. I just want to debunk the subject of Sukuna's being in the series and what he was as an entity. Not to waste any time to tell you what I think, I myself think that Sukuna was a ascended human entity 1,000 years ago, an ascended human, and that's very contradicting. Even as the JJK wiki online, if you look it up, it calls Sukuna a vengeful cursed spirit, and there are a lot of things in the manga that point to Sukuna being a curse. He has a very large cursed-like body during the Heian era. He eats people. He is the king of curses. I can't deny there is undeniable evidence that makes it seem like he was a curse in the past. If you pay attention to some of the early chapters in the series, Sukuna is mentioned as being a curse, at least in the sense of a malignant entity. And you know, there are a lot of fans who have their own takes on this subject, but what I do not like the most is when people twist Gege Akutame's words and say that something is confirmed. Well, Gege confirmed this, Gege confirmed that, Gege said it himself. There are just some things that we do not know, and this is mostly in regard to Sukuna and him being a human or like this demon entity. The fan book says he was once a human. Gojo said he was once a human. Kenjaku said he was the strongest sorcerer. The problem is not specifically that he was once a human. Most of us know at one point that one time in Sukuna's life he was a human. He was a powerful sorcerer and feared as a calamity, as a human. But it's the conditions of his quote-unquote death, and these are the options that I am thinking of. Was he this human that died and became a cursed spirit, then a cursed object? Or was he a human that ascended into this demon-like entity and then was sealed as a cursed object? It's very different, and I personally, I cannot 100% confirm either option. Although I do lean toward the latter with Sukuna being an ascended demon, I really cannot confirm anything myself. And here I'll mention some popular arguments that I see a lot. One I see very much is the interaction between Sukuna and Mahoraga, with how Sukuna was able to block Mahoraga's executioner sword, and Sukuna comments that it was a specialized blade enveloped in positive energy. If I was a cursed spirit, I'd be a goner. And this would really imply that he's not a curse. However, now he is a cursed object inhabiting Yuji's body. So this statement isn't completely reliable to work off of, because this is not his true body. Curse or not, this doesn't necessarily prove anything. And some other little minor details are Sukuna's use of reverse curse. A cursed spirit has zero use for using reverse curse, using this skill. It would destroy them. But Sukuna is a master of reverse curse and can even output positive energy. He's one of only 3 people. So this could be a skill where he had as a human, or it's a side effect of being in Yuji's body, but it's very strange for a curse to have, or a curse to know it, if he was one. And then there's the subject of how Sukuna talks to cursed spirits. Sukuna absolutely does not acknowledge or group himself at all with them, but being that he is the strongest and has complete disregard for others, it's not really surprising. But it is something of note. Sukuna is undeniably a different breed. Yuji mentioned in chapter 158 that Sukuna may have been one of the sorcerers contracted with Kenjaku to turn into that cursed object that transcended time, the 20 fingers, implying the thought of Sukuna being that ascended human turning into a cursed object. He was a sorcerer. But what's crazy is that just a panel before, in that same chapter, Yuji thought back to Kenjaku's words in 136 about the vows Kenjaku made, and relays a specific panel with Kenjaku saying, "However, I did not only enter contracts with sorcerers," so it makes it so incredibly vague what he was referring to, as Sukuna was mentioned literally right after that callback. It's very, very vague. It actually contradicts itself with the way Gege portrays Sukuna's identity and origin. Other than the title of King of Curses, he's always specifically regarded as demon or sorcerer. I think it's only 1 or 2 occasions where Sukuna is actually mentioned as a curse, especially in chapter 2, where Gojo said, "If you die, the curse inside you, Sukuna, will die." And the cursed spirits think that Sukuna being reincarnated will bring about the age of curses back once again. In the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, there are 3 states of being: non-sorcerer humans, cursed spirits, and actual sorcerers. These are the forms of cursed energy as humans. The only few outliers are the cursed womb death paintings and Lord Tengen. The wombs themselves are half cursed and half human. They have mixed blood, so they are both. And Tengen, he is something else entirely. I'll get back to him. But what Sukuna is right now, at this very moment, inside of Yuji Itadori's body, Sukuna right now is a cursed object. He is partially incarnated inside of Yuji. Yuji has strength as a vessel, so this is a 1 in a million chance. Sukuna is exactly like the calling game players. Hana, Kashimo, Ryu, Uro, Reggie, all these old players transcended time and died as cursed objects. Some even specifically mentioned that they have died in their previous lives, yet because of Kenjaku they came back from the dead, not as cursed spirits, but as awakened sorcerers obtaining new flesh. But on the topic of Lord Tengen, Tengen is a very obscure being, but he could clue us in onto what Sukuna actually could be. Master Tengen himself is a human. He is over 1200 years old and is able to live so long due to immortality. That is his curse technique, it's immortality. But as a result, he still ages and evolves. When Tengen reaches a certain point in his evolution, he loses his sense of self, resulting in uncontrolled chaos. But also we are now seeing that Tengen has become more cursed spirit than human. This enlightened being that has never died has reached a point in his life where he is more like a curse. And we see this form. It is very monstrous. It is like a malignant tree that just grew too old. I think Sukuna is just like Tengen in the fact that he leans more toward curse than anything else, but hasn't fully crossed to the side of cursed spirit. He would essentially be like an eldritch soul in that way, neither human or curse, just like Tengen's condition. Looking at Sukuna, no human has 4 arms, no human has 2 faces, and it really makes you think that he would be a curse, but he doesn't have to be a curse to be a cursed object, and he doesn't even have to be a full-on curse to be called the king of curses. Sukuna is just different. Right now in this current calling game arc, we've gotten little bits of droplets of info on Sukuna. He 100% was indeed a human sorcerer who lived and was feared as a calamity, and eventually he was turned into a cursed object. It's the question of if he was an ascended human or eventually turned into a vengeful spirit, because of what Gojo said in chapter 3 about how Sukuna defeated the sorcerers of his time. I'm certain Sukuna was sealed in the height of his power and never perished other than his cursed object transformation. Recently, we are now seeing the vengeful spirit Naoya crash back into the story, and I see more often than I like to fans who say Sukuna was a vengeful curse who died in such a way with cursed energy not related to where he was reborn as a spirit, and that's a pretty interesting take. I really don't believe it, but I do not think you can take sources relating to Rika or Naoya and tie it to Sukuna's origin, but I really want to see some straight up confirmation from Gege of what Sukuna was 1,000 years ago as a four-armed, two-faced deity known as the King of Curses. It's actually heavily in favor that he was a cursed spirit with how early chapters describe him, but there is a lot that also points to him being an ascended entity, kind of like Lord Tengen, neither cursed nor human, something beyond. And to me personally, with that latter part, that just fits Sukuna more. But thank you guys for watching. I really wanted to make this video because there's a lot of people who swear that Gege confirmed this, Gege confirmed that, but there's really no true confirmation, not 100% word for word. There's still stuff Gege won't reveal. So until Gege discloses that information to us fully, we will have to wait and see what he truly is in the future. To me personally, it's heavily implied that he was this ascended sorcerer or this demon, but I honestly cannot seriously call it hard proof. When discussing Sukuna, it can get very strange and you'll end up having more questions than answers, but treating conspiracy like Gege's words is very biased. I myself, I could be missing something, some panel somewhere, some interview, so please, you brothers, share your awesome comments, what you guys think. I'd love to read them. Remember to like and subscribe for more. This has been Enemy Stand User, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.